Hello there, my name is Marissa Muskie, and today I'll be teaching you how to make this little fish. This is done using the brick stitch, and it will require about 26 beads for the body and one black bead for the eye. Before we begin fully, I'll say I do have a tutorial on how to do the brick stitch if you want something more in depth. Otherwise, this is just kind of a row by row guide on how to do this specific pattern. If you want a more visual of the pattern to get the PDF, I have a link below. It's free. It's just a download. But yeah, so let's jump right in. Alrighty, so today we'll be using these beads. These are kind of just generic tube beads, but I would recommend any Delica beads, like Miyuki Delica beads. But these are just kind of generic tube ones. This one will be for the eye, and this one will be for the body. We only need the two. I'd also recommend about 14 or 15 inches of thread, beading thread, just to give yourself enough of a tail, and of course your beading needle. Alright, let's get started. Just a note as well, you'll only need one black bead, and then you'll also need 26 beads for your body. I did not count these out, but that should be more than enough. Alright, to start we'll pick up 2 beads for the body. We'll just pull that down and leave ourselves a bit of a tail. And just run your thread through those beads twice. And then you'll want to come out of the first bead right here. And only that one. And if you notice, here, so these aren't laying super flat, so what I can do, if they don't want to cooperate with me, is just kind of move them around a little bit. And now they are stacking up like they should be. For our next row, we're going to pick 1 bead for the body and 1 bead for the eye. So that's 1 red and 1 black in my case. I'm going to go through the thread on top here, just like you would for a normal brick stitch, because this row will be an increase. And I'm going back through the black bead. And then we'll pick up 1 more bead for the body, go under that same top thread that we went through last time. And then back through the red bead. Pull tight. There we go, that's our second row. Our third row will be another increase. So pick up 2 beads, go through this first thread, through the bead on top. We'll pick up 1 bead and go through the next thread right here. Back through. Pick up 1 more bead. Go through that same top thread. Pull through, and then going back through, just tightening it. Row number 3. For our 5th row, we have yet another increase. So we're doing 5 beads on this row. So again, pick up 2 beads. Go through that first top thread. Back through the closest bead. 1 more bead. Go through this next top thread. Through another bead. Thread and back on through. And then 1 more bead. Go through that same thread. And then back through the bead. You just lay down. Pull it tight. And there we go. That's row number 4. Row number 5 is going to be a decrease. We'll still grab 2 beads. Instead of going through that first top thread, we're actually going to go through the second one right here. We'll go through and back through the initial bead. And you'll notice it kind of like this bead over here kind of wants to wobble around. What I usually do to mitigate that, I'll stick my needle through this bead and pull it through. Now I'm over here. So I'm actually going to, instead of going back through this one, I'm going to go back through this bead, which is the next one over. And you'll notice when I do that, it kind of decides it wants to line up for me. So the way we get back from here, or the easy way to get back, is to go through the bead right next to it. And then we want to end up out top here. So we're just going to go back through that bead, and then we're pretty much back where we started. There is a way to go back through 2 beads at once, which is what I usually do. But I wanted to show you kind of the process more so you understand where we're going. But anyway, we'll take one more bead, go through the next top thread, go through it again, one more bead, go through that top thread, and then back through. Alrighty, this row is going to be another decrease. Again, 2 beads, skip that first top thread, go through this one instead. That's the one right in the middle in this case. Go back through the bead closest to you. And again, to make it so it doesn't wobble around, I'm going to go through this bead, and the second one from the end flattens it out. And then we'll go through the bead next to it and back out the top where we want it to be in the first place. And this row is only 3 beads, so we're just going to go through that next top thread, pull through, and then go back through. And there we are. That is the next row. Alrighty, row number 7 will be another increase. So we pick up 2 beads and go through this first top thread. Tight and go back through. We have another bead. Go through that next top thread and go back through. I'm gonna grab one more bead for this row. Go back through that same top thread we went through last time and back on through. For row number 8, we're going to do the little tail fins, and we're going to do something a little bit different. So we're just going to pick up 1 bead and see how we're coming out through this bead right here. We are going to go through the next bead over. This is not a brick stitch, this is just kind of us laying down a new bead. What we'll do next is go up through the next bead on the previous row. Grab 1 more bead. Pull, and that kind of makes the little tail fins. So from here, you essentially will want to just weave in your ends. Make it nice and secure. I like to do it a couple of times, just to make sure I feel good about where it ends up. Go. And then we can just snip that right on off. We are. And then if you want to attach something to the end, like a jump ring, you could use this ending tail, kind of weave it around. Otherwise, I am just going to weave it in and then we'll be good to go. Alright, and here's our little fish. It's all done. This is a pretty easy and beginner-friendly pattern. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I'll put him in the fish dish with the other fish. But yeah, otherwise there is a link to my PDF pattern in the description below. It's free. It leads you to my Ko-fi. But yes, you can get that there if you want to follow along with more of a visual. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!